If you want to get that old used wig from out of your closet looking like this to this, stay tuned for a step-by-step tutorial on how to revamp a frontal wig. So let me just start by saying we all have a bunch of wigs that we are tempted to throw in the trash. I'm going to save you guys some money because they can be revived, I promise. Key step is removing that glue off the lace, which I did not show in this video. It's literally just Dawn soap and hot water. Let me know if you guys want a more in-depth tutorial on that. I can get that to you. And then once the lace is clean, you kind of just wash and condition and leave it out to air dry as normal. Here you see me just hot combing the hairs back, kind of just getting them all in place. That's kind of key in this process, also because you're creating a new hairline. Once that's done, you're just going to section off a very thin layer around the perimeter and hot comb behind the perimeter back so that the hairs are again in place. From here, we're just going to jump straight into plucking, which is my favorite part. You're literally just skip, pluck. I kind of just do maybe 3 to 4 in terms of plucking each section. I don't want to over pluck, especially because it's a used wig. You guys, it should already be plucked enough for you. But if you want a more in-depth tutorial, please let me know. Every few sections of plucking, you want to take that hot comb and just get the hairs that you've plucked out. Just making sure that the hairs, again, are in place. Making sure everything is in place will help you a lot with this process. A common misconception with plucking is that you can over pluck, so don't pluck too much. While this is true, you can over pluck. You can also under pluck. I would prefer if you kind of don't be scared, just really get up in there because you don't want your hairlines to be given bulky or thick, especially when you're revamping a wig. You're creating a whole new hairline, so it's almost as if you're starting where the hair is most dense to kind of like restart that frontal, if that makes sense. Another key tip I like to use, I kind of thin out the sideburn areas more than I do the temporal areas, if that makes sense. So going from the tip of each eyebrow to the other, I kind of leave that ear a little bit more dense until I put it on my head, and then I kind of just go along my hairline. I'll go back in and repluck if need be. Again, after you pluck each section, you want to just go in and comb it out. As you can see, that's how much hair I have from just this sideburn area. This next part is optional. I went in and plucked out the perimeter that I parted off. Usually people tend to cut this when the wig is actually on their head and they're installing their wig. I did it for video purposes just so you guys can get a better idea of how the wig looked once I styled it. Once that part was done, I just went in and I hot combed all the hairs back just to kind of get a feel of how my hairline was looking, and she's looking tea. Wow. Wig was still wet, of course, because I only let it air dry. That is also another key tip I would mention. When you let your hair air dry, it definitely gives it a more fuller, luxurious look opposed to just jumping right in with the blow dryer. And then this was the finished product. I did go in and add a few little loose curls. I will layer it once I install it. Stay tuned for the install video.